Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. In the bottom right hand corner we have Future starting as the blue protoss. Upper left hand corner we have Renson as the red protoss. This is of course on Scrap Station. If you're unfamiliar with it, you have an island expansion in the upper right hand corner, which I don't expect to come into play, and otherwise all the additional expansions get you further and further away from your main. So you have this natural expansion here, then sometimes you'll see players take this base. This is behind the destructible rocks, and of course the gold expansion is at the far corner. Anyway, I actually was in match during this match, so a little bit, I do have inside info as far as this, but I do know that it is a fun, good game, and if you can't cast your friends, who can you cast? So Pylon being built by Future, so it doesn't look like we're seeing any sort of proxy play right off the bat. This is a little bit more difficult, I feel, for Protoss players than other players. Also shout out to Az, who is also in match, because you have a very wide ramp, and as a result you really do have to, you can't just rely on sentries for defense first of all, which is really the bread and butter for Protoss. If you were going to rely on a sentry defense, you need more out than you would normally, and so you kind of end up with this odd balance where you do have kind of what can be a wider map depending on these destructible rocks, which take time to kind of chew through, and expansion play versus needing kind of more ranged units and having a degree of knowing what, I almost feel like scouting is even that much more important because you don't have as much opportunity to react to your opponent as you do on other maps. And I'm sure the Diamond players can disagree or agree with me on that, but specifically it's because you just don't have as much leeway on your early defense, so you really have to at least pump some units early, and it looks like we are seeing a gateway and an assimilator on Renson's path, and it looks like Future is following suit, doing precisely the same thing, and it looks like a scouting probe has managed to sneak out for Future a little bit faster than Renson, but that's actually going to work out to Renson's advantage, particularly on this map because it's 1 versus 1, and that just means he got that much more mining time trying to plant a pylon in that upper left hand corner just to throw him off. Special thanks to Vital Productions, by the way, while I have a pause in this commentary and while things are, sometimes I wonder if like you click various things. Okay, there, the frame rate is acting up. There, we got it. Come on, frame rate. Come on, you can do it. Okay, there it goes. I'm not sure what causes the frame rate to jump like that. It's something about the recent patch, so apologies for a little bit of a skip there. But anyway, so Renson in there, seeing the cybernetics core might be thrown off by the lack of that pylon in the upper left hand corner. I wish I could figure out what the formula is, because it definitely feels like it's definitively something. It's like highlighting a probe or even doing that little follow effect. Anyway, a little bit more of a goofy replay. So it looks like Cybernetics Core followed by a second gateway, and still no second gateway for Future. It looks like he wants to just hide information until he has that Cybernetics Core up and he can field a Stalker and maybe throw Renson a little bit off with that build. It is just clicking on probes. I think that's what it is. If you click on a probe, the frame rate drops. Sorry for experimenting on you guys in the middle of this replay, and maybe it should be a castaway as a result of that, but whatever. Looks like you do see Chrono Boost, so no Zealots actually right off the bat, and also a gas steal, and I like what Future's done in the meantime. He's also snuck a pylon near that natural expansion. So essentially what Renson was thinking, okay, he's copying my build, he's doing something very similar, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a gas steal to try to throw him off, to try to get a little bit of an economic edge, and it looks like he did manage to kill that probe. Sideline, he will have a little bit of scouting information from that assimilator, but he's not really going to be in range of those gateways. You can see, excuse me, he's really just going to have a good look of what's going on here, whether there's chrono boost happening and whether that chrono boost is happening on the Nexus or not, which actually can be some good information, because that'll give him really a good indication right there. You can see the chrono boost is happening again on the warp gates. That's giving good information that the warp gates are being rushed rather than probe production. So he in turn is also trying to pump up his warp gates, wants to make sure he has a lot of units out, and actually is going to robotics facility as well. But what I really love by Future is letting a little bit of information in there, and it looks like it is going to be a 4 gateway push from Future. So 4 gateways versus the robotics facility, which usually you can pull that off sometimes. I would say on other maps it's a little bit more difficult. On this map in particular, and it's going to be especially difficult for Renson with this ninja pylon that Future has managed to sneak near that natural expansion, because the stalkers, any sort of zealots that are warping in, are going to have a much closer focal point, a much shorter running distance. Focal point? It's kind of a weird thing to say. This is just a botched cast altogether, whatever, I'm running with it. A much faster kind of run distance, but it looks like Future does have his 4 warp gates out. He's ready to start warping units in. Already warped 4 stalkers moving out. And you have an... Ooh, oh man, this is terrible. I'm just going to call this one, whatever. Yeah, an Immortal being produced, but Future already in the base, able to take out 1 Stalker immediately, still whittling on an additional Stalker here at the natural. Here at the ramp of the natural. Maybe this is why I shouldn't cast at 4 p.m. I gotta upload this just so you guys see that mistakes happen too. But Zealot's now warping in to try to deal with the Stalkers, but really this Immortal on the corner in future really needs to get some Zealots warped in, and he currently doesn't have actually anything. Okay, never mind, the Zealot's right there. Wow, I'm doing a bad job here. And beautiful pin in by Future. Some nice micro right there to pin that Immortal across, because that was really what the difference in the armies were right there. And now Renson actually being very clever and moving his units up here and just forcing Future to kind of pick off probes, and he can sacrifice a probe or two as long as he can get an Immortal out. You can see he's kind of separating the army to the right and also gather up an attack force instead of having his attack force picked off. Looks like he's going to lose a pylon or two, but he's trying to create targets of opportunity for Future, trying to keep Future distracted from just destroying his base or doing anything. As soon as this Immortal pops out, he's going to bring this army back down. And okay, now he has the Zealots. The Immortal is going to pop out momentarily, and he needs to hurry up. Okay, now that Immortal, just too much in the action. It really needed to be with the rest of this army. Some Zealots running in, and a beautiful play there by Future. Beautiful timing as well. You can see the Zealots engaging on Zealots. The Stalkers back there to support. Not enough support Stalkers for Renson to really do enough damage. And the Immortal is just having to run away from the Zealots in the meantime and not really accomplishing anything. So now grouped up, but still having to flee from these Zealots, and just that crab walk does not get it accomplished. So it looks like Future is now free to attack in the base, to go after a couple Zealots, and able to get 2 Zealots. But honestly, Renson's base is completely overwhelmed at this stage. Very nice play from Future. You can see what a proxy pylon will do. And Renson really, if he maybe even had that robotic facility towards the rear, might have helped out a little bit. But things working out for Future. Not the best of casts, but whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm even smacking the mic at the end. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Special thanks to Vital Production for my current background. I'll do better next time, guys, I promise.